This is a short impromptu recording to help you get going with Overleaf. So when you first enter the Overleaf project that I've created, this is what you'll be greeted with, and it's not terribly helpful. So the first thing that you'll have to do is adjust the screen width, or the panes. So there's a pane for editing. Oops, and I see I've adjusted it wrong. Let's see if I can do it right. Okay, good. So there's a pane with a file tree. That's this gray pane here. Then there's an editing pane. This is where you actually type things in. And then there's a preview pane that shows how your PDF will look. And this particular PDF has been rendered, has to be compiled, and it's compiled in advance with 25 error messages. So these are error messages associated with the sample file that you'll get that you can add to, and it's unavoidable that it has these errors. The problem is the ACM template that I've used. So just ignore those errors for now. And oh, here, if you have collaborators, they'll show up here, and you can mouse over them and see them. I've shared this one with a group already, and so one member of the group is already here and is already seeing this. So I can look at these errors. These errors are going to turn out to be important later. I can click on here to toggle between looking at the errors and looking at the free view. And then I can, so the beginning of the document is all boilerplate. Anything that starts with a % is a comment in LaTeX. So all of this stuff is commentary. It isn't until you get to here that you start to get some LaTeX commands, which a LaTeX directive or command starts with a \. And you can ignore all this stuff, all the ACM copyright for the purposes of our class. None of this stuff matters. This is stuff that would be changed to a particular conference. And this would be changed to a particular conference. Then we get to the beginning of the document. The document is all in this file except for graphics, which are in separate files. So this sample teaser.pdf is actually this picture right here, and there's a command for including it in this file. And then the bibliography also is in a separate file, and there's a command for including it in this file. So you can see that the name of the title is Hope. Here, this title corresponds to this title over here in the preview. And the authors, Ben Travato and Lars Thorvald and so on, correspond to the authors listed over here and their institutions. Now you can feel free to delete some of the lines in here. For example, author note. You can delete that if you feel like it. You should put your email address in. You definitely don't need an ORC ID. Now this is interesting. We've got another author here. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So this is an author listed here. Okay, this author note mark you can just get rid of. And this is the email for the second author and the affiliation for both of those authors. So the affiliation is a nested thing with curly braces around the institution, the street address. You could put RIT in here if you want, or you can just eliminate this. The only thing that I require is your names. The affiliation and even your email address is all optional. But you're going to have to put author for each of the names. And if your name has characters in it that are not in the ASCII character set, so for example, this Thorvald is the Scandinavian letter that's like an O with a slash through it. And this is a special way of notating that in ASCII text. An alternative to that is to open the menu, change this to Lua LaTeX, and then it will accept accented characters. If you don't change this to Lua LaTeX, it's by default PDF LaTeX, which is very old-fashioned. Lua LaTeX is far preferable. And the other things you can leave alone. This is the document that will be compiled, and in here, it's sampleauthor.tex. Then after the authors, there's a little section for the abstract here, and you must have an abstract in your paper. And then there's a bunch of stuff that you can ignore. This Ccs Xml is a codification system of the ACM. And you could optionally put it in. It's a bit of a pain to put it in because you have to go to a website. If you look here, there's a tool at this URL, and you can use that tool to say what the classification of your paper is. And then you copy and paste the code generated by that tool in here. It's an XML code. But you can just leave that alone. I don't really care. It will appear right here under CCS concepts. Keywords is useful because you can just type in the keywords. And teaser figure you can remove. If you want to put any pictures in your file, you have to use a system like this. So teaser figure is a figure that's kind of expected in Chi publications, but you don't have to do it. It will run the full page width, and it has a caption, a description. The description is very important. The description is like the alt text. This is what will actually appear when a screen reader looks at it. So a blind reader of this would get the description part. Then this make title causes all of this material to be typeset. All of this material appears only when you have make title, so you have to have that. Then you have the sections of the paper, and these are just sample sections. You can delete everything almost to the end of the paper here and put in your own sections here. But first you should read through this because it gives you some information about how to make, how to do things in LaTeX, how to make things boldface and so on. You don't really need to do boldface stuff. How to do quotation marks. You use 2 backticks for an open quote and 2 apostrophes for a closed quote in LaTeX. And it tells you how to make figures. You can see all of the how it looks, how to do bulleted lists, how to make tables, how to do equations. There's a bunch of equations. How to do figures other than the teaser figure. And then this corresponds to sample franklin.png. That's this file here. And the line numbers are put in automatically. And then at the end, so as I said, you can delete almost everything, but when you get down to the end, there's a part that you can't delete, which is going to be your, well, you can't delete the end document and end input. This looks like an appendix. Yeah, this is an appendix. You can delete the appendix if you would like, but you can't delete this. You're going to have a bibliography, and here is that bibliography. So you've got to have that, and you don't have to have acknowledgments if you don't want. So pretty much everything else you can delete up to here, but you should first read through it. Read it in the preview to get an idea of what's going on. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I need to tell you. You can download this stuff. You can upload files. If you want to put in pictures, you can upload a file as a picture. You can make a subfolder for your pictures if you want to put in a lot of pictures. I doubt that you're going to do that in this course. You get the menu. Then you can download the source, all the source files, or download the PDF. Overleaf does keep a version control on it, so you don't really have to do that, but you can do that. And Overleaf does have a where do you get it? There's a track changes kind of thing in Overleaf and a comments thing, and I can't remember now how to do that. Well, you can always look in the Overleaf guide for how to do that. Maybe it's in the menu. Now, I've set my key bindings to Vim. You should probably set them to none unless you know how to use Vim or Emacs. And I've set my font family, and I've set an editor theme. You should probably set that to whatever you feel like. That doesn't matter. That I won't see that. Oh yeah, and you can go from the code location in the PDF with this, or go from the PDF location to the code with this. But where is the track changes thing and the comment thing? I can't find it. Maybe it's under review. Oh yeah, okay, it's under review. So if you turn on review, you can write commentary in here. So I can add a comment saying, I don't like the word submission, change it to something else or whatever, I don't know, whatever I want to say. And I can turn on track changes here if I feel like it. If you're used to that from Word or something. And I can see, I guess I can see the resolved comments here. I don't know, I'm not interested in all of that stuff. But as you can tell by the fact I'm not that familiar with it, but other people like it. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Good luck with using Overleaf, and feel free to ask me any questions. I'm very high on Overleaf. I definitely want you to use it, so I want you to be successful with it. So I want to answer your questions about it. Thank you.